Welcome back to my WWF LJN Customs channel, where I'm just going to do a quick video. This one's not going to take long. I'm not going to add a bunch of stuff to it, but someone had asked about how you blend in heads, or really any parts when you do these figures or move heads around. So I had a Morocco body, I added an animal head. The problem was that it wasn't seamless, and it's not going to be. So one thing that you can do is you use the epoxy sculpt, and it's a two-part mix of the epoxy. And the idea is you just kind of blend this stuff in. What I always do, a trick, is I wet my fingers. When I wet my fingers, and this is hard to do holding the camera and do this at the same time, as you work it into, like I've got his shirt here. I don't like where his muscles and his shirt match because he's got or come together because he's got the cuff line. And so I want animal to have a flat line there. So what I'll do is I take that epoxy and I put it like right on top of it. You don't have to do anything fancy with it. And then just kind of mush it into place. Now my finger's a little dry. So what I'll do is I'll go back to the water, mix it in, and you just kind of feather it or smooth it up into that line. And then you run your finger on the edge, and you don't want any kind of lip on that edge because that's going to show when you paint. And it's not like you can't go back to this later and either add more epoxy or sand it down. And I found that this was a discussion today, I found that the easiest way to sand epoxy is just with a wet finger again. So even though if it's dried, it doesn't matter. It's almost like wet sanding on wallpaper. Have you ever done that before? Which is a freaking disaster. I hate doing wallpaper. But this will just, you can take it and it'll kind of come off and come down. So I want a smooth joint right here over top. And you can see where I've done, that arm versus this arm over here, which I haven't quite done yet. And the head is the same way. Is that you've got this filler that you're going to smooth down. Now I have it extended down because his collar on his shirt stuck out, and you can see a little bit of it right there that'll have to go over. But that's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth it up to his neckline and his throat and even out, you can see over here, any of those seams that I still have on there. So again, just use the epoxy, wet your fingers, and then smooth it down. And you may have to go over it a couple times. There have been times when it's dried and it's thinned a little bit. Like you can see right in there, dead center, that I'm gonna have to go over that a little bit more because that seam line is gonna show even through the paint. And I don't want that. So that's a pretty easy way to do your epoxy and kind of mold your joints together. So hopefully you enjoyed it. What a rush. Wrong warrior. Oops, that's my bad. All right, so I hope that helped anyways. Thanks for watching.